Good mid-afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center, breaking in for a severe thunderstorm warning here for parts of Flagler County until 3:45. Another day here with something down in this area, our southeasternmost county. We have seen a little bit of circulation even within the Doppler radar echoes. As they go ahead and go over to storm relative velocity, we're still seeing that here. Maybe a couple areas of spin. Nothing right now in terms of a tornado warning being in play as of this very moment, but there is a tornado possible tag here for this warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning issued at 3:07 for a area there of some nastiness near Palm Coast, but again, maybe some action there down toward Bunnell as well here, just east of Bunnell. It's pretty much stationary, so that's going to kind of add to those rainfall totals in this area. And we're talking about 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and penny-sized hail, possible threats here as well. Locations included in the warning. They're not just limited to Palm Coast, Flagler Beach, Bunnell, Beverly Beach, and Hispaniola. So watching this here, there is that tornado possible tag. So we'll watch to see if this gets upgraded to a tornado warning. Maybe not quite as well defined as what we saw yesterday because we're not seeing a hook match up with the rotation, but this is pretty tight rotation here. So if you hear a roaring noise, just be aware here that there could be something trying to evolve in toward Flagler County around, it looks like Citation Boulevard. Also looking here as we kind of get further up within this area of circulation, Belterre Boulevard there as well. So watching something that looked a little more organized in the latest scan. So we'll see what the Weather Service in Jacksonville decides to do here. Right now, it's a thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, pretty similar to area to what we saw yesterday with that spin here within the atmosphere. So we'll watch to see again what the Weather Service does decide to do. But nonetheless, pretty strong wind here. They're saying that they're very close to issuing a tornado warning here if that rotation increases anymore. So we're very close. It looks like it's continuing to get stronger between Bunnell and Flagler Beach. It's the area that we're kind of seeing here north of Corona, about to cross 95. So getting very close to a tornado warning being required for this area. We'll go ahead and put our mouse on the screen now. I'll switch you on over so we can do that because that's important in this type of scenario here, so you guys kind of get a gauge for what's happening. So here's that spin right in here, pretty clear on the Doppler radar. We're looking at some different things behind the scenes. This is again about to cross I-95 here in Flagler County. We're talking about, it looks like the Laguna Forest Trail area here as well, and again that spins very close to where we're seeing that hook now trying to evolve. Again, not quite as well defined as yesterday, I don't think, but the hook was kind of defined. This wasn't matching up necessarily with storm relative velocity, but we're seeing a tight enough rotation could get something kind of rain wrapped in here, so something to kind of bear in mind. I see a gust here just a little while ago to 28 miles an hour, Palm Coast there, that area, the Palm Coast Flagler Beach Airport, Flagler County Airport, excuse me. So again, definitely something to take note of here with some of the stronger winds in the overall area and kind of just occurring in general. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning in play till about 3:45. Watching here that circulation near DuPont, and that just tightened up. So we may get a tornado warning again. Very close to a tornado warning being issued. Weather Service is saying now, when I say tightened up, the greens and reds, the brighter colors did come together, but we're not necessarily seeing quite as brighter colors, so we'll see what the Weather Service does. But definitely could have a tornado warning here issued by the office in Jacksonville, but that's not just the biggest story here at the very moment. We're seeing that wind potential nonetheless, and the low end wind type potential is similar to what you would see in a weaker type tornado. So just kind of seeing that here, talking about low end severe wind potential. So again, we're going to be watching things carefully. It seems like we're kind of doing things over here toward Flagler County. We covered things here yesterday with the severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado type situation above, and ended up having a tornado warning issued for this area, but at the same time of day. So we're going to be continuing to watch that. And as we look into where some other spots, things don't look quite as robust as what we were seeing there yesterday. I know we had some storms around Stark, though, getting over an inch here pretty quickly in the Stark area, but things have kind of subsided some. Still some heavier rain in spots, but not seeing too much lightning around overall, so that's some good news. But again, watching the storm here toward Flagler County, we're watching things again, watching the circulation, and I was talking about how it might have tightened up, but in some ways you could say it really didn't, because We're just looking at things from different perspectives here. Still some rotation within this area, though, for sure. We'll just see what the Weather Service decides to do. Again, they were talking about being very close to issuing a tornado warning, so I'm sure they have the polygon drawing up just in case they need to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. So again, watching a situation in Flagler County where we have a severe thunderstorm warning in play till about 3:45 this afternoon. Again, things outside of this area don't look too robust, which is some good news. Again, yesterday we were seeing a little bit more widespread action, and I think as we look ahead here in the timeline, as we look ahead toward that Tuesday, we're going to have more dangerous weather around. Marginal risk is in place severe weather for your Tuesday for parts of the Jacksonville area, and I think the storm's going to be a little more potent, talking about multiple severe storms tomorrow on the board here, so something we'll be watching out for sure. Right now, if there is a tornado, it'd be right along I-95. The rotation here is kind of matching up with that circulation on the radar, but it's not extremely tight. It's kind of hard to say for sure here. We have a 37 and 18, so that adds up to about 60 miles an hour of rotation. So again, we're going to continue to watch this to see what the Weather Service in Jacksonville decides to do. We'll go ahead and zoom back on out a little bit. We'll kind of keep our eyes on this very carefully, watching things as we're looking down toward our southeasternmost county. You see some rain and a little bit of wind maybe in Levy County, but nothing too impressive. A little bit of lightning there as well west of I-75 in Alachua County. But again, the big story is the severe storm in Flagler County. Watching some spin, watching that wind potential, maybe some damaging winds getting down to the surface. That frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. I know we had quite a bit of lightning toward parts of, it looks like Bradford County here earlier, where I was kind of keeping tabs on things. But right now, just hearing a little bit of that thunder in the background. Things have subsided pretty good in terms of that around. I'm not seeing too much rain at this point. As the Weather Service just gave us an update, the circulation looks to remain just broad enough to hold off on the tornado warning this time as it heads into Flagler Beach over the next 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll continue to watch this carefully, though, because sometimes when you get right to the coast, things can spin back up just enough here, maybe for a tornado warning. But we're getting pretty close to the coast, so hopefully we'll get lucky here and we won't need an actual formal tornado warning for this area. But again, we're watching the chat session. Of course, they're giving us frequent updates on what's happening down toward parts of Flagler County, southeastern Flagler County here. Keeping an eye on things. Palm Coast, Flagler Beach, but now Beverly Beach, as well as Hispaniola under this warning. So we're just trying to give you the latest updates. We'll go ahead and kind of give you a broader perspective of the area now, I think. We'll kind of see where we have some of that rain-cooled air around. This will kind of be helpful here as I just kind of zooming things out. You do see some spots out toward the west pretty hot. 96 Albany, 91 Tallahassee. But as we get toward north central northeast Florida, a lot of rain-cooled air, which hopefully will help, especially as we get south of I-10. We had the more favorable conditions today for the storms. You're kind of seeing here these temperatures falling on down some. So we'll kind of keep our eyes on things to see how the overall atmospheric profiles are. But again, just watching things, we're seeing severe storm up into Georgia here. And then as we get further up, you see severe thunderstorm watch parts of New York there. Getting close to that anyway. Doesn't look like New York actually under that, but parts of New Jersey as well as Pennsylvania there, Delaware, you kind of get the idea. And another one off toward the west there, toward parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. So they're watching that, of course, in that vicinity. You see off into toward the Atlantic there, you have that D on the screen, and that's indicative of a tropical depression that we're watching out there. You kind of see some of the action there on the edge of radar. Earlier it was more well defined on radar, a little bit closer, but it's moving away. That's the good news. Could become Tropical Storm Bill, but again, not going to be a threat to the U.S. That's the great news. But as we look toward the Gulf of Mexico, it's not really set up too well, but we are seeing a system that could ultimately eventually evolve here as we look toward the Bay of Campeche, which will increase those rain chances once again toward the weekend. We're going to have a lull kind of in between as we get the storms that are in here earlier in the week out of here, and as rain chances fall, but they'll rise back on up as we get toward the weekend. So something to keep in mind here, keep your eyes on for sure. We'll keep you updated here from the Weather Center as we just continue to give you the very latest information to protect you, your friends, and your family. We'll go ahead and go on over now to our planning forecast. I had this on this morning. I think it'd be kind of interesting to see you guys once again as they're continuing that severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag and the wind about 60 there in Flagler County. That is in effect there still to about 3:45. It's again, I know you heard that beep, so you were kind of wondering, but again, here's that forecast we had up this morning. You see a little warmer maybe tomorrow, and could end up getting some potent storms here later on, so you got to watch out for that. You see rain chances falling some before they rise back up as we watch the tropics there for your Father's Day weekend, so we'll keep our eyes on that here. We'll go back over toward the Doppler radar now. You hear maybe a little bit of that thunder in the background toward this dark area, but not seeing too much in the way of lightning overall. But as we look down toward Flagler County, that's a different story here, as you're seeing temperatures a little bit cooler, gust there a little bit higher, the visibility reduced, so this makes it kind of treacherous out there along Interstate 95 there in Flagler County. So still watching things over the last hour or so, inch and a half. We also have a flood warning, aerial flood warning, as we get up toward areas here closer toward the southern side of Jacksonville, where we've seen about 2 inches of rain in just an hour in the TPC Sawgrass area. Some flooding there in that region as well, so something they're keeping an eye on for sure. But as we look up there, you kind of see rain subsiding to some extent, but we'll have to see if things kind of re-evolve there in towards some of these different spots. But again, the bigger focus, the bigger story down toward Flagler County, severe thunderstorm warning here in play. You see we had rotation a little tighter earlier near Interstate 95. Not as apparent now, but we're still watching that, watching just different things here within the Doppler radar algorithms. Just trying to give you the latest updates, the latest heads up here as things kind of continue to evolve. The worst of this now, the worst of the wind energy in the southeastern part of the polygon in far southeastern Flagler County, it looks like now. We'll take you back over to GR level 3. The warning there is in effect still at about 3:45. 4 areas around Palm Coast, Flagler Beach, but now in Beverly Beach. But not seeing the wind energy as apparent as we look further up in the warning. But areas around Corona, it seems some of the worst of this is impacting them, as maybe some of the worst even moving into Volusia County now out of our viewing area. I see the office in Melbourne there did go ahead with a significant weather advisory, so they'll kind of continue to monitor to see what type of warning or if a warning is required for that area. But again, still watching things on the Doppler radar. You see some of these winds here are pretty strong, not extreme though, but we'll continue to keep an eye on things as we're looking again into toward parts of Flagler County here on this Flag Day, ironically. But again, we're keeping our eyes on things, giving you the latest updates. Most of the other accidents didn't look too robust, but as I say that, we're starting to get a little more lightning to evolve here as I start to hear more thunder where I'm at in parts of Bradford County. You see this here around Lodi. A few lightning strikes there in that vicinity over the last few minutes. This is something to kind of take note of there. In Levy County, northeastern Levy, a little bit of lightning there, but not a lot of wind energy. No other significant weather advisories in play toward our region right now. We're just mainly focused again on this accident in Flagler County, and it'll be out of our region pretty soon, so that'll be some good news, but still got to watch until it does get out. I know they're tracking it as stationary, but it does seem we do have a little bit of a movement here overall to try to get the worst of the wind energy here out of parts of Flagler County. You see that kind of moving off toward the east and a little bit of a southerly component as well, it seems. So that'll be some good news here, trying to get us out of the picture here over the next little bit. So you see the 1 hour rainfall. You see these estimates here. Some of these spots, 2.5 inches in the purple, give or take. You can see a little bit of white there on the screen as well. So just something to kind of bear in mind, getting a lot of that torrential rainfall. Some of that in northern Clay County as well. Had some out toward parts of Bradford County too. I'll zoom in here as we look near. It looks like Northwest County Road 229 getting some of that too. So just watching things, keeping you up to date. I'll probably be wrapping this up hopefully pretty soon as this morning does expire, but still in play for now. Still got to be taking notice of the thunderstorm precautions. Be inside away from those windows. You have that lightning around. You have the heavy rain around. You have those gusty winds, maybe damaging winds around. Some small hail too in the vicinity. So something to keep your eyes out for here as we're looking in parts of Flagler County, and we go between different modes of the Doppler radar. We toggle between some of those different modes here this afternoon. So again, this is along Interstate 95, making it pretty treacherous out there as people head out and about in toward that area. Looking at upscale growth here, we're not seeing too much of that, so that's some good news. Seeing things that not really on that intensification phase here, more in that decline phase it seems like at this point, but still enough for a severe thunderstorm warning to be in play for the next little bit. So we'll continue to get the update from the Weather Service. I think they're going to let this go pretty soon, but I'm going to take a break here for now. We'll leave the radar up and we'll be back here in about 10 minutes or so, unless we need to cut back in center. Meteorologist Casey Cloud back here in the Weather Center about 3:40 or so, and we're still watching some of that storminess toward Flagler County, but luckily that severe thunderstorm warning has been expired by the National Weather Service in Jacksonville, but now they've issued an aerial flood warning for parts of Flagler County until about 5:45 because there's some different issues in that area. I know getting reports here from emergency manager and emergency management relaying street flooding there. That report from fire rescue at the intersection of State Road 100 and North, it looks like Backer Street in Bunnell, where cars are having some trouble traveling on the street, about 3 inches or so in just an hour time there as well in that general vicinity, and getting some information there of multiple trees down on Old Haw Creek Road there at the 1800 block. So seeing some of the different reports coming on in here to the National Weather Service in the chat session. Definitely interesting to see what kind of see how things end up transpiring, and maybe kind of figure out what might have caused some trees down there. Hopefully just kind of an isolated incident there, not maybe something tornadic in nature, but we'll just have to wait and see. Again, that was there toward Bunnell. So just kind of tracking things down. I know we did have a aerial flood warning and play up toward the north here, but that one, the polygon that's on the screen right here is going to go away because they've gone ahead and dropped that because we're not seeing anything in that general vicinity now. So that's some good news for sure. As you do see here, some rain in toward northern Clay County, some heavier rain there. Excuse me. As we're also getting the storms here down toward Williston, you do see some storminess in that general vicinity. And then as we move the map back over, another report now of trees down in the Palm Coast area. It looks like Sexton Place there, even one blocking the road. So pretty nasty afternoon in the Flagler County area. Sounds like this storm verified a little bit more than what we had yesterday down there. Ended up having a tornado warning with that one. This one very close to getting a tornado warning, but the hook and the rotation really didn't match up exactly. But you just never know what could have happened there. We're a little bit further away from the radar, looking a little bit higher up. So Weather Service doing the best job they can with the radars there, trying to get an idea of what might be happening down there. I know emergency management really does a great job relaying reports, so that kind of gives them a little bit more information on that warning decision on what they should do and kind of figure things out. But I mean, sometimes things can just happen in real time, and that you're not able to issue the warning until after the fact. You're not able to kind of get an idea of what occurred until after the fact. So as we're seeing that flood warning now, the aerial flood warning on the screen till about 5:45 for parts of Flagler County, Bunnell, Palm Coast. You see that there. I'll take off the radar real quick so you get a better look at that. Again, still watching things. Nothing right now even close to becoming severe though, which is great news. Definitely great news. But we'll continue to watch to see if anything re-intensifies here this afternoon. We'll break back in as necessary. But right now, no storms with even significant weather advisories on them. But it seems like a pretty nasty last 30 minutes or so down toward Flagler County. Seeing some more information here. They're talking in the chat about some different calls. Not sure exactly what happened and where some of these spots. Is just kind of early here, but definitely some issues in Flagler County with some flooding, with some wind damage to some extent. So we'll continue to watch things, give you the latest here. Our next formal update won't be till Thursday morning here on our platforms of Facebook, Twitter, and over there on cloudweather.com. But we'll break back in as needed. I know tomorrow we have a risk here. I'll go ahead and pop this up real quick. As you see, a marginal risk of severe weather for a pretty wide area, so that expand even further from what we had there earlier on toward our area of the first coast, now getting all the way across the North Florida there pretty much, and into parts of South Georgia further up as well, and further over as well. So gonna be watching. I think storms tomorrow will be more robust, more warnings overall, as things could come together pretty quick and become pretty dynamic here. So we'll watch, give you the latest updates here as necessary from the Weather Center. But for now, thanks so much for trusting me. I'm meteorologist Casey Cloud. Have a great rest of the afternoon.